Friends, not many people outside of our little colloquy here know that we communicate in a secret language. When we speak to our mothers, girlfriends, or even the likes of Nancy Pelosi, we proudly tell them when we drive a 911 or a Cayman. But when we geek out amongst ourselves, we trade codes like 991.2 or 981, and it often says a lot about our car IQ, but also about the very car we drive. But what happens when that number changes to 718, or more importantly, 982? So in the tech review of this, we unpacked a lot of things. One, you can't see the engine, and two, a whole lot of technology that was pilfered from the 991.2. We're not going to cover that again here. Click on the link above and you can go back and we can geek out about tech all you want. But today, we're going to talk about numbers. So this is the Cayman S behind me, the 718 Cayman S. That is considered what? The 982 platform. In the base version, it is a 2-liter 4-cylinder engine with a single turbocharger that's good for 300 horsepower. Count it, 300 horsepower and 280 pound-feet of torque. But what's interesting is that torque comes in at a very low RPM of 1950 RPM. Very unusual for a boxer engine, people, and stays flat all the way up to 4,500 RPM. Then there's this behind me, 350 horsepower, but more interestingly, 309 pound-feet of torque, which comes in even at a lower RPM, 1900. Okay, so not that much, but stays flat all the way up to 4,500 as well. Now, there are boost pressure differences. So in the base car, it's 19 pounds of boost. In this one, it's a little bit less. It's actually 16 pounds of boost, but also in that tech review, I tell you why. But now, I think it's time to go and drive it. Okay, people, here we are. 2 incredibly important jobs on our hands. Same as we had in that 991.2. And I'll admit it, I'm nervous. Who else? A, does it develop power? Does it make power the same way? And B, and almost more important, does it sound like a Porsche? Well, let's unpack the first one, downshift a bit, put our foot into it. Santa Maria Madre di Dios. Okay, it's definitely fast. Definitely fast. But have I said that we're in Austin or just outside of Austin? And let's just say the Polizei, they're very, they want to come out and greet you, especially if you're going at aggressive speeds. And I, for one, don't really want to introduce them to the Cayman S. So we're going to slow down a bit and look at this from a more cerebral point of view. That torque curve that we talked about in the tech review, the 1900 in the case of the S, all the way up to 4500, that tells the story of how this thing develops power. Like I'm at 3000 right now, let's downshift a little bit. It's instantaneous. From a flat 4-cylinder, put aside the turbo for a minute, from a flat 4-cylinder, it's instantaneous power. Something you wouldn't have got from a flat anything, let alone 4-cylinder. And now we need to press on and unpack the second question. One I would argue is almost as important as the first. Does it sound like a Porsche? So with that, let's downshift one more gear, put our foot into it. From inside the car, it sounds like something's going on there. It certainly sounds like a flat Germanic engine, one that has a sport exhaust, as this one is fitted. But people, the gravity of this situation is not lost on us, so we need to try something unconventional. The window down, we're back still in second gear. Let's put our foot into it. Third gear, back to second gear, slow it down a little bit. It sounds like something. It doesn't sound like a Porsche. Like that melodic, cherub, like puppy dog, very aggressive puppy dog, but puppy dog sound it's missing. It's cool, but it's not a Porsche. So there's a little known, very funny thing in the car world. You see, there are engineers, there are designers, there are marketing people, and they all really have the same job, and that is to convince you and people like me that they have developed a better mousetrap than the next guy. Sometimes even Porsche needs to do this. But you see, when we approach this, it's a little bit more difficult because some of the engineers, designers, and marketing people that you and I have met and I have put on camera from other car companies, they take the money that they have made from other car companies and they buy that. So that would say a lot about the driving dynamics of that, wouldn't it? Okay, a couple of important things about this specific Cayman. Number one, it's an S. Number two, it's fitted with Sport Chrono. Number three, it's fitted with PASM. And number four, it's fitted with sports suspension. So that means straight out of the box, it rides 20 mils lower. Now, something I didn't tell you guys in the tech review, I spoke with one of the chassis engineers, and he was saying in the remit of the redesign here, they were like, the base car, the base setting in PASM, they wanted it to be closer to what the previous S was. So let's downshift a bit, put our foot into it. And this is not a perfect road. And there's still a significant amount of stability. Like the plane of motion isn't disturbed by the road, but now let's downshift, go around this corner here. This is normal mode. And while not perfect, there's no, it doesn't roll onto itself back there. It's very flat, which you would expect in a Cayman. So check there. Now let's come around this turn here, switch to sport. And now we're riding a bit stiffer. You feel it a little bit. It's not a huge difference, but really you feel the imperfections in the road a bit more. But what you and I really need to focus on is Sport Plus, and this is a much tighter road here. So let's downshift a bit, brake, 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 come around a much tighter turn, almost a hairpin. And there's so much confidence in this thing, which you had in previous Caymans, but now it's like otherworldly. Oh my God, I love this car. Santa Maria Madre de Dios. Let's just say I think we need to try that again. So let's get some speed up, downshift, down to second actually, brake, 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 brake. Come around here a bit tighter again. Oh yes. It's like an extension of yourself, like your brain. Please go this way, and it just does. Like, I hate to say this, but it's that much closer to my beloved Lotus. And it actually has power windows at work. It's an interesting touch. What's the old saying? When in Rome, do as the Romans. Well, we're not in Rome, so that means we need to see our old friend, Jaime. Also, my old boss from, now, this is different here. We were over on the other side. What's going on here?
Well, this is actually our original pit. This is the main pit from the 1967.
So this is the original salt lick pit from what your father used to run?
Yes, the one he used to run.
Okay, now, not only does this look different, there's other pieces of meat here that you added since I left.
Yeah, we got two new additions onto our menu. We got our bison ribs, and then we have our prime rib.
Now, is this like the turkey, it only comes on the weekend?
Yeah, it's only on Sundays.
I'm glad I came on a Sunday.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so which one is this? Is the bison?
Yes, sir, this is the bison.
Oh, man. Tyler didn't tell me you had bison today.
Oh, yeah, bison.
Oh, Santa Maria Madre de Dios.
We got our beef rib, our prime rib right here.
That is incredibly good looking.
Yes, sir.
I think you need to break off a piece of that for me before I go.
Will do.
I think we got to do that. Okay, we're going to let him get back to work. Do you need any help today? Because it's a weekend.
Yeah, we
want me to work the pit for you?
We can always use some help.
Okay, you know what? I'll tell you what. You take the Porsche, and then I'll work the pit.
There you go. That sounds like
I think it's good trade. It's always good seeing you, man.
All right, good to see you.
Take care.
Too.
Now, I would be remiss if I didn't share this one teensy-weensy little fact with you. This very car here is probably the nicest Cayman S you will ever see in your life, because it has practically every option. Look, cows. Odd to be a cow near the salt lick, just saying. This one is this cool lava orange. It's got the carbon fiber. It has the cool sports seats. It's got the amazing cool wheels, like the gray wheels. It has PASM, sport, I mean, everything. You know what? As a bonus question, I want you to guess what the retail price of this vehicle is. I will give you the base price, $66,000 US. But I have already told you some of the options, and there are more, which you could probably see just by looking at this film and looking at some of the exterior footage of this car. Again, the nicest Cayman S you will ever see. Guess what the retail price of this vehicle is? And oh, I really want it. I don't care what it sounds like. I really want it. I do. Actually, I want it with a sunroof. I know you call me a freak for this, but I want it with a sunroof. So in summary, what we got? Well, this is one of those right brain, left brain kind of things, or cerebral versus the heart. From a cerebral point of view, I love that. Actually, even from a heart point of view, like the point where you put your foot into it and it goes fast, and people, it goes like unexpectedly fast. Like, for example, I never like to talk money on the show, and I've been doing this a lot, but the base version of this is like 53 grand, and even that one's a fast car, and it's like, wow, that's when it really gets your heart pumping. But then there's that thing that I fell in love with in Hawaii, that 3.8 liter, the sound that came out of that, Santa Maria, Madre de Dios. That sound did not make the transition through the surgery of lopping off 2 cylinders. Is that a bad thing? No. But is it the kind of thing that would give me pause? If I'm honest, I'd have to really spend some time thinking about it. Other than that, I have truly enjoyed my time with this. So that is the point where I need to turn this around to you guys and pose this very question to you. Would the oral stimulation that was the 6-cylinder, not having that, would that put you off of the 982 version? I keep on moving the numbers around, 982, 718, whatever they call it, but like the platform is called 982. Would it put you off by not having that melodious sound of the 6-cylinder? Would it be enough to have that power, which does speak to your heart, but there's one little piece missing? And you know what, I'm not just looking for yes or no, I'm looking for what have you done to your car? And it doesn't have to be a Cayman or even a Porsche or a Corvette or even a fancy car like this. What have you done to your car to improve the oral linguistics? I like that, oral linguistics of your vehicle. Let me know in the comments below or via our social media, MotoManTV all in word, MotoManTV all in word, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And with that, I want to leave you with 2 things. Make sure you download our fancy new mobile application, which you could download for free at Apple iTunes and Google Play. And did you know that the app lets you know when there are new episodes that are live? So you don't have to listen to me on Facebook, like threaten you with like dogs and like all sorts of things so you can watch the episodes. And we're also live on 5 international airlines. And then number 2, a fun fact. So Porsche brought over 2 engineers, 1 powertrain and 1 suspension engineer, and I got to spend some time with both. Probably really talk their ear off, so I apologize. But one of them is one of these guys you just don't want to like. His name is Daniel. The guy looks like he's 2 years old. He's been working at Porsche for 15 years. And I'd like to point out, when I came out of college, I worked at Apple Computer, and my job was going from retail store to retail store to make sure people knew how to use Apple computers. Yes, Apple computers are cool today. Back then, no one wanted them. This guy, Daniel, his first job out of university was engineering the suspension on a Porsche Carrera GT. Really? And you know what? When I grow up, I want to be Daniel. Until I see you next time for, I think there is going to be a tech review of the Boxster 718. Bis später.